I was thinking about the better days. My youth so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Nightcap. Hope all of you guys are doing well. It's been a mad weekend. It really has. I tell you, I just got back from Carnival, hence why I'm in the Jamaican top. And been hearing, Gary's been filling me in about what's been going on with the Liverpool and Newcastle game. Aren't those guys jammy? That's how they won the league, you know. That's how they won the league. I can't believe how much chances these guys have been getting away with. Holding people in the box, bookings, the VAR, the whole 9 yards. I just don't understand how they get away with it. And if they continue to get this kind of luck, you need a little bit of luck to win the league. Let's be fair. You do need a little bit of luck to win the league. But if they keep getting away with this kind of stuff, man, it's like, how are you going to chase these guys down? I think it's even more important now that we've got to put, careful what I'm saying on YouTube, you got to put them down next week at Anfield. Because we've come so close at Anfield. We just don't seem to win away at those big places, do we? You know, Etihad, Old Trafford's a trouble, even though we won there last week. And Anfield, we're always close, but never over the line. And look, as I said, those teams haven't beaten us in the last 3 seasons. So our record against the big six is amazing. It's really good. But it's more of, we need to go there and put a stamper down at Anfield next week. We really do. But shout out to everybody in the chat. This is Nightcap, week 2. And I really just want to focus on what happened against Leeds. Shout out to 18 says, looking forward to today. Big up to you, Gary. Big up to you, D. What's going on? D says, we have the best depth in the league. I think so too, bro. I think so too. Look at Liverpool's bench, and they're only missing McAllister from the midfield. You know what? With Liverpool, it's always, if they get an injury to Van Dijk or Salah, they're done. And they lasted the whole season last season and never had any problems. Liverpool never suffered with any issues. But this season, I don't know. I don't know whether we can say hand on heart that they're going to have an injury-free season. I mean, they could do. But I honestly, I don't think they're going to do it. Salah's and Van Dijk's coming on 33, 34. I just can't see. I think they're going to suffer some injuries, and I think they're really going to struggle. Let's see how Arsenal get on with the missing players who actually Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Norgard. A lot of these guys, can you believe that? Like 4 big-time players, and you might not call Norgard big, but he's been Brentford's captain and been a statesman in the league for so long. It's just one of those things. I mean, yeah, Andrews just said, remember when Dan White was missing for Liverpool? That was like Rodri missing for Man City. They just could not function. So I'm just waiting for the bomb to drop, bro. I really am. Yeah. Big up to you, D. How did you guys get on at Carnival today? Did any of you guys go? I wasn't down there for long because, you know, it was like I got down there and there's just a wave of people. And I was like, last week I was struggling with my back. So I was like, yeah, you know, say hi to everybody and then go home. Yeah, Garfield, it was, I don't know how Liverpool keep getting away with this. I don't. I really don't. But before I talk about Arsenal Leeds, Garfield, commiserations to you guys. I think you guys you haven't even arrived. You've had 2 games in and Sesko hasn't started. So I think it's having to look at what Gyokeres is doing. We're going to talk about Gyokeres quite a bit today. Those guys didn't really have a preseason. Yeah, Garfield's saying we'll be okay. I think you will. But they didn't really have a preseason. So when you see what Gyokeres was doing and his numbers are frightening Gyokeres, then it does kind of hit a hole as to say it's going to take time for some of these players to hit the mark. But I do want to say it's strange because Arsenal, they could be on their 8th player now, 270 million spent, 7 people brought in, and now they're looking at an 8th. Obviously, Kivior's not featured in the first 2 games, and nor has Zinchenko, a few other players. So we're expecting a couple of guys to go. It's not long now. It's less than a week for the transfer window to shut. So we're looking at about 3 or 4 players now to leave. But back to the game, you can see the figures on the screen in terms of the match stats. Arsenal really just so dominant, man. And Arsenal had an XG of 2.8 and ended up scoring double that amount. And as you guys knows, the XG quantifies as goal scoring opportunities. And it's got a lot of things it puts in XG. People don't really talk about it that much, but it's like so many factors in terms of the location, the distance from goal, the angle, the shot type, whether it's on their favorite foot or their weaker foot. Take, for instance, we had an XG of 5. So that was double what our XG of 2.8 was. And one of them was because Saka scored on his weak foot. You know, so there's a lot of context in terms of the other variables in terms of XG, but Arsenal just so dominant. And if you guys didn't catch it, the interview from the Leeds manager afterwards just said we couldn't get anywhere near them. He said it's a real downer for us because they beat, you know, they had 1-0 win against Everton in week 1, and they thought, you know, this Premier League's all right, isn't it? You know, we're going to be doing all right in there. And then Arsenal, right at the Emirates, would just bang, just put you straight down, just knock you straight out of your stride. And that really hurts if you're a Leeds fan, because that's the reality. That's the welcome to the Premier League moment for Leeds United. But for Arsenal, everything just looked polished. Timber, remember, guys, Timber wasn't supposed to play because Timber is still coming back from that injury. They still didn't really have a big preseason. So he's still sort of playing light. And he was obviously put in there because Ben White wasn't fit enough. So you had a not fully fit Urian Timber who came in and scored 2 goals and had 1 assist. And the assist was brilliant. The weight of the pass for Saka split the 2 defenders on the back line, and what a finish from Saka. Right over the right shoulder, the pace on it, goalkeeper just stood there frozen, couldn't even do anything. But I think overall, you can see from the statistics, it was a dominant game, but Liverpool is the real test. Yeah, Liverpool's the real test. Not really much to sort of boast about beating a promotion team like Leeds. You would expect them to do that, but it's the manner of how they done that. It's the manner of the victory against Leeds that was really stand out. Shout out to Nay, who's just joined the chat. What's going on? She said sorry, was watching the game. Yeah, and a lot of people are not happy with the game. Yeah, Garfield said, you beating Liverpool. This is the thing, Garfield. We've got to put down a marker. We've got to take the game to Liverpool, and we've got to knock them out. You know, we had a half-baked team go up to Anfield at the end of last season with no striker, and it still ended up in 2-2. Still ended up in a draw. So I've got a lot of things that I've got to hope for in this week. This week is a statement game. But as I said, isn't it crazy? Arsenal now 33 Premier League goals from corners since the start of 2023-2024. That's 13 more than any other team in set pieces. And that's just a weapon. When you look at the outfield goals and then you add them into the set pieces, it's just phenomenal. It really is. Sava looked devastated when he left the pitch, but you guys have seen the news that's come through now. I'll be talking to the yeah, I know. Dee's just saying, where's the player ratings? I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't do the player ratings when I did my video. So I'll do them for you now. I haven't got them up on the screen or anything, so I'll just go ad hoc. But yeah, I think look at the result from Leeds, it was scary. It really was. It was scary. And for Arsenal, it was one of those things where you just think to yourself, how good can this team be if everybody's fit and Arteta's starting to rotate now, which is a really good thing to see. We've been talking about it in the forum, actually. It's really good to see him doing those things in terms of rotating players and doing it early and then using the academy players. All of that looks good. Yeah, all of that looks good. I'm just trying to pull up stuff to see if I can do player ratings. But yeah, it all looks good, and all we've got to think of, guys, is it's the best thing that we can do in order to move forward. Arteta, I think he gets it. I think he gets it, but it's going to take us a bit of time. It's going to take us a bit of time and a few games to see if this is consistent, if this rollout of subbing at 65 minutes or 70 minutes and bringing on the young talents. Because remember, Dowman and them lot came on at 72 minutes. Yeah. Them guys had, was it 72 minutes? No, it was 62 minutes. They had 28 minutes. So that was really early. That was very unconventional for Mikel Arteta. So we're going to have to see how that translates. Yeah, I'm still thinking, guys, that it's something consistent and it's something that he'll do, and it won't be an issue. But let me go into player ratings for you guys. David Raya, I'm going to give him a 7. I thought his distribution was amazing. You looked at the passes he was doing. He was just break every time Leeds was perched on the edge of our penalty area. He just broke their midfield, and he did it 4 or 5 times. Gary's got player ratings here as well, so let's put his up. He did it 4 or 5 times. This is a weapon. His distribution, man. Ooh. I think he's the best goalie in the league right now. I mean, obviously, Donnarumma is coming in at Man City, so that's going to change a few things, but still, it's the Premier League, right? So he's got to get accustomed and prove his worth in the Premier League. But at the moment, back-to-back Golden Gloves, I think it's David Raya. But I'm going to give him a 7. Also, remember the stunning reaction save he made from Pascal, the header, which he put over the bar. Yes, I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'll give him a 7.5. Jurrien Timber, I'm going to give an 8. He was my man of the match. Actually, I'll give him an 8.5. He was my man of the match. From the corner and the set piece, this for Saka's goal. He gives flowers. Overall game that he gives you on both sides. And I hear some people say Jurrien Timber's a better defender and Ben White's a better attacker. How? I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see where Ben White is a better attacker than Jurrien Timber. I mean, he's been playing with Saka for longer, but that doesn't mean that he's a better attacker. And I think maybe Jurrien Timber put that to bed on Saturday when he had the 2 goals and 1 assist. Because Ben White, you're not going to get that from Ben White. You're never going to get a game where Ben White gives you 2 goals assists. You just throws that all out of the window. Centre backs. Let me do Calafiori first. Calafiori, I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he was a little bit passive in that inverted, and maybe because he's been hearing about what happened in week 1 against Embremo when Calafiori's bombing up the field and leaving that big open space. Now that big open space is supposed to have cover. You know, you move into a back 3 then, because then Jurrien Timber doesn't really like to go forward. But we do play in that 3-2-5, don't we? When we're attacking, we have them 5 men up front, 2 men in the midfield, and 3 at the back. So we kind of change. But the problem is teams will just be looking to exploit that side. And I thought he was going to go with Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly defends that better than Calafiori does, but Calafiori is so good going forward. So good in that inward role. And it's still a sound defender. We're not talking about a guy who defends like Zinchenko. We're talking about still a top-class defender who can get forward. And the brilliant pass for Gyokeres when he hit that first time, Calafiori was just on it. We were talking about Gyokeres being stars of service, and then Calafiori goes and gives you a pass like that, which just breaks the defense. So, yeah, it's 7 for me. William Saliba, he gets a 7. I thought he was composed. I thought he handled Leeds' attack with ease. His presence around the box, so physical. They couldn't handle him. And the same with Gabriel as well on the other side. He gets a solid 7, winning key duels. I think he won 6 duels, which is the most in the game. And again, guys, these guys are help maintaining a clean sheet. It's almost expected every week. It's almost a given. And Declan Rice, guys, Declan Rice, I actually thought he was better than last week. We still haven't seen the Rice that we are used to, though. We still haven't seen the midfield, the box-to-box, who goes in and just sheer out dominates games. Whether that's because he didn't have much of a rest in summer, I don't know. But I do know that, again, he provided the corner for Timber's goal. He actually got the assist in week 1 as well. So he's got 2 assists already. 2 assists in 2 games. And his work with Zubimendi, and it's still a single pivot, guys. It's still a single pivot. But he seems to phase in and out. When he senses Arsenal's in trouble, you see Declan try to get in there in support, helping them control and dictate play from the midfield. And he does that with authority. So can you imagine if you're Zubimendi and you're getting overloaded, who better to help you than Declan Rice? There is no one out there better to help you when you're in trouble than Declan Rice. And Martin Odegaard, I'm going to give a 6. I thought he actually played well and had a good start, but then 38 minutes he was substituted off. And the reports that we're hearing, because I haven't received any of them, the guys ain't back until tomorrow morning in the medical team, so I won't really know what the situation is. But it's looking like he's going to play against Liverpool. So there's no issue there. But that limited his contribution in the game. And I think he got better when he came on. And I'm wondering whether that's because teams really game plan for him. They try to overload Odegaard a lot because they know it all goes for him. So he does get crowded. And I think when Yeri came on, that forces the defense to do something different. And it just allowed the ball to just be more free and people to take ownership. Now, I don't know whether that's going to carry over into Liverpool. Liverpool always try to do a number on Odegaard. Always. That's been a Klopp thing where they try and shut him down. So interesting to see how that's going to work. Zubimendi, I thought he had a good game. I'm going to give him a 7.5. He was tidy. He had that balance and control in the midfield, especially when Odegaard left the game. I thought that was his time to shine because he no longer had that line transition to go to, the safety net. That was gone. And I keep talking about Wanyeri, don't I, as a number 10, like I haven't seen him break out. I can say Wanyeri is a fantastic player on the wing, on the right wing, but as a number 10, I've not seen him excel there. I thought he did okay against Leeds, but I still have yet to see him shine. I've not to see him. I can't say hand on heart, this guy's going to be a breakout number 10. He's the future of the club. I can't say because I haven't seen that in his game. I haven't. But on the right wing, I've seen it. I've seen a dynamic player who can float past people, cut in, and then cut out on his left foot, curl the ball into the top left corner of the net, Saka style. I've seen that. But what I haven't seen is him in the midfield, control the tempo of the game, have that, maintain that balance and possession. Not seen him do that. I've not seen him beat a man and penetrate from the midfield. Not seen him do that. So there's development stages with Wanyeri, which I'm guessing that we'll see at some point. Saka, I'm going to give a 7.5. He wasn't in the game again until the goal, was he? And it's not a worrying sign, guys, because Saka notoriously always starts slowly. If you look at the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons, he always walks into the season and then he starts getting that dynamic form where he's either scoring or assisting. So that's going to come. And the prognosis on him is 4 to 6 weeks. So we're all aware. I'm expecting him back after the international break. So there's no real issue for us. So, it wasn't an hamstring injury per se. It was more of a precaution. And if you felt something there, then that's an issue. It's an issue. But I do want to say, guys, the hamstring is a concern, man. It's a worry. You start getting stuff like that happening to you, and you have to start to manage it. Once you start getting those, they never seem to go away. And the only time that they really go away is if you have a long rest, and that includes the training coming back. It's, if the psychotherapist can't deal with the body, then he's going to have to keep playing with that fear of having a hamstring go. And it's hard, isn't it? And it's all our fault. It's just overplaying him, and that's what you've done to the player. And I fear that that's the same thing that's going to happen with Havertz, where he's going to be starting to get these issues on a regular basis. You know, the legs are all connected to that muscle, and then, you know, it connects to the knee and the Achilles and the plantar. You know, all that stuff is just connected. And then you just have problems in that whole area, and it just doesn't stop. Where was I? We was talking about, let's have a look in terms of the play ratings. We could go to, we just did Saka. We can go to Gyokeres. Gyokeres, I'm going to give an 8. And I'm going to come back to him, but he scored twice. The finish, the first goal was classic Gyokeres. And I'm saying to people, we haven't got a player that can get the ball on the halfway line with no support, dribble past defenders, and put the ball into the back of the net. We haven't had that since Alexis Sanchez. We haven't. We have not had that since Alexis Sanchez. And I remember in the game thread, me and Gary was typing in the game thread, and I said he did a Thanos. He did a Thanos from the Marvel Universe. He went, to hell with it. Fine, I'll do it myself. Because he has not been getting the support, and, you know, the supply to him has been poor. It's been poor. He's made the most runs out of any player in the team. I'm going to try and pull up the number here. It's going to be difficult for me to pull it up, actually. I think I read somewhere he led the team. Actually, the stats are in Opta. It's in Opta stats. He led the team with 44 sprints. Imagine the guys up front working that hard, and you as a midfield in tandem aren't doing nothing. If I'm Arteta, I'm going mad. I'm like, what are you guys doing? This guy's making 44 runs, and you lot ain't giving him the ball. So that is something. That's a work in progress, guys. But we're gonna pull up some stats on him now. Let's pull up some stats. Let's talk about Gyokeres. I am gonna give Madueke a 6. I thought he worked hard, but he wasn't decisive in his play, and he was substituted after a while. And then Arteta, I'm going to give Arteta an 8. Actually, I'm going to give him an 8.5. No, let's give him a 9 because of the substitutions. You know, I really like that. D says Arteta has been overplaying and rushed him back last season. Yeah, let's hope he doesn't do that this season because of the situation with the depth that you've got. Look, Martinelli didn't even get on the field. Martinelli didn't even get on the field. So that's something which I think that we're really, really going to be benefiting from. But let's go back to Gyokeres, guys. We got to talk about Gyokeres, man. Now, this guy, I talked about in the preseason, he didn't really have much of a preseason. He spent most of the time in preseason sitting there. You guys have seen Gary's ratings. Yeah, it was his other leg. Yeah. It wasn't the same leg. It was the other leg. But let's talk about Gyokeres, guys. 2 goals, 9 passes, 24 touches, 1 dribble, 2 shots on target, 6 duels won, guys. 6 duels won. He's working harder than anyone at the top. And you know what? I really do wish that I can get that video. I'm going to try. Let me see if I can try and get those stats for you. I'm going to try and get these stats. So guys, when you see these stats, I probably won't show them on the field. I'm going to try and get these stats. Bear with me for a second, guys. I want you to see how good that he was against Leeds. I'll read them out for you once I get them here. Bear with me, guys. Right, where are we? Here we go. Let me just go through this and I'll collect them too. Guys, when you see them, it's crazy. Nay says, it's great to have a striker and he's big and strong. He won't be bullied off the ball. Yeah, he's the bully, Nay. He the bully. He's the bully. Right, where we go. Actually, shall I try and show you guys the stats? Shall I try and show you guys the stats? Because you might want to see them. Okay, I think we can do that. Let's try and do that. I will try to show you guys. So let me go back here. And I just want you to see how incredible this guy is, man. Oh, Lord, 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 Lord. We've got something special here, man. And when he does get to full fitness, guys, he's going to be remarkable. So, guys, I want you to take a look at the screen and we can talk about him. He ran 11.6 kilometers, which was the most in the team. I said 44, didn't I? Sorry, my bad. That was my mistake. It's 22 sprints. So he made 22 sprints, which was the highest on the pitch. Intensive runs. He made 324 intensive runs. Intensive runs, guys. And remember, they all have the AI monitor on their arm, so they're getting all this data, yeah, from all this AI. So he was first in that. He was first in off the ball runs. Oh, so when I said 40, this was the stat I was talking about. Yeah, it's 40 off the ball runs. He made 40 off the ball runs, and you couldn't spot him. The defense couldn't spot him, or the midfield. And here it is, guys. He made 27 pressures, which was first in the team. So you know how Odegaard leads the charge in the press, right? Odegaard ain't got nothing on this guy. Gyokeres is running everything down. He will run down anything with abandon. Like, if it moves, he's on it. That's the striker that we've got. And you know what, guys? I spent a while talking to you guys about how good Kai Havertz is in that position. About how great he is running into space and closing teams down, winning duels, recoveries. But this, guys, this is on a different level. Yeah, first in distance covered, first in sprints, intensive runs, first in off the ball, first in pressures. That's what you want from your striker. That's what you want from your striker. And then to take the ball by the scruff of the neck and just do it yourself, dribble into the box, and then put the ball. I know it didn't kind of miss hit it. It was scuffed into the left-hand side, caught the goalkeeper off guard. And guys, I need to talk about the penalty. I need to talk about the penalty. The penalty, guys, he hit that so hard that I thought it was going to put a hole in the back of the net. I thought he was going to put a hole in the back of the net. He hit that with abandon. And guys, that is Gyokeres' 28th penalty conversion out of 27, out of 29 in his career. He's only missed one penalty. And so there was a big thing made of it, wasn't there, last Thursday when there was a tweet that came out and it said Gyokeres is going to be Arsenal's penalty taker. And everybody was like, okay, whatever. And then when you see the penalty, when you see the quality of the penalty, you're just like, jeez, okay, if he's hitting it like that, in the correct place, with that pace, no goalie in the world is saving them. No goal. For the first time, I feel confident. You know when you see other teams' players take penalties and you're like, boy, I wish we had a penalty taker like that at Arsenal. That's this guy. That's this guy. Nay says the penalty was total. It was absolutely, it was like someone just shot a cannonball. Yeah? It's just someone shot a cannonball out of the armory. It looked so good. It's frightening. And so, look, he's got all my praise. You can take as much penalties as you want for Arsenal Football Club. I don't care. And the other thing, guys, is as well, systematically, you want him to get that 20, 25, 30 goals. And so, you know, this is what they did. This is how they bumped up all these Shearer, Harry Kane numbers, isn't it? Yeah. They bumped these numbers up. And with pure penalties. I remember when someone said to me, Ivan Toney got 28 goals. I was like, bro, 13 of them were penalties. So he scored 15 outfield goals. 15. That's like in 35 games, which was the last season he played in the Premier League, right? That's not even more than Kai Havertz. So I was like, I was never in the let's buy Ivan Toney camp. I just wasn't, because I just didn't see an elite striker there. I saw a labouring striker, and I thought we were already well equipped with what we had. if I'm honest. Yeah. But this guy is on a different level, man. This guy is on a different level. I'm so glad we've got him, man. He's just different. But yeah, I did say that it turns out that he only did 4 days practice before the first game of the season with Man United. So he wasn't fit at all. And he didn't train with Sporting Lisbon. He didn't train with his club. And so if you think of it that way, guys, he's just getting up to speed in terms of his fitness. That's what's happening. He's just getting up to speed. It's going to take him a couple of weeks. Every week he's going to get better and better and better and better. Andrew says, Apollo, that is why Andy Cole should get his flowers. Yeah. Good shout out, Andrew. Good shout out, Andrew, man. I agree with you. That's why he definitely should get his flowers. And D says he's a gunman, gunslinger. Yeah. What do you expect? Yeah. No, look. Wouldn't it be nice if he goes to Liverpool and does some damage, man? Bro, I want to see him go and light up Liverpool. It really is going to be interesting to see how much goals he's going to get this season. And it could be anything, guys. It's the unknown. But remember all them people that were saying he's played in the Portuguese league. It's not in the Premier League. It doesn't translate. Well, the myth for that already had been dispelled because they took his XG and moved it over into the Champions League. And his XG was exactly the same. The output, everything else that added him to be an elite striker was just the same in the Champions League, which, by the way, is the hardest league in the world, or the hardest tournament in the world, or whatever, how you'd like to say it. He already proved that he did it there. So all this talk about, guys, look, we all know as Arsenal fans, don't we, that he's going to shine. Yeah, we all know he's going to shine. So it's one of those things in terms of let's just wait and see how it works, how it turns out. Let the bubble burst. Cam is just saying Dowman is a world-class talent. Yeah, look, as I'm about to cut the stream off tonight, I have to talk about Max Dowman. There's still things I can't talk about in regards to his mother and the minutes played and stuff like that. But what I will say is this. Arteta, please be careful what you do with this guy. Please be careful because this guy is different level. He's better than Saka when he was at that age. He's better than Wilshere. In fact, people have been saying he's even better than Messi was at that age. You know, someone's just said that. Cam's just said that. He's better than Messi when Messi was at 15. But we've seen so many players digress in their development, and that's why I want Arteta to look after him. Guys, he's got everything. He's got everything. Inside, outside, running into the channels. He's passing. It's all elite. Remember, guys, he played as a number 10. He played as a number 10. So when you hear me talk about Nwaneri as a number 10, I think he's better than Nwaneri. That's just my opinion. I think he's better than Ethan. I just think he reads the game. The intelligent level is there. He's a big guy, 5'11", 6 foot. And there's so much more to come. But please, Mikel, don't get sucked in. Don't get sucked in, Mikel. Look after this kid. And then your world will be your oyster. You're not even old enough to sign a contract. Guys, let me tell you where it is with this guy, yeah? Max Dowman. If any of you guys have got kids, and these kids go to school, and they're in year 10, he just finished year 10 a couple of months ago. Imagine that. This guy who's playing for Arsenal just finished his year 10 in June. Yeah, June, July. Yeah, that he just finished his year 10 last month. So when you guys see him coming up and doing all of this, that shows you how delicate the situation is. And as a parent, I get his mum. I get where she's coming from. You got to think about nurturing this guy's physicality and make sure you don't overplay him. He's got to learn in school. So this guy's still got to study. He's still got to do his exams and everything else. So you just got to be ultra careful. And I know you guys don't care about that. You guys just want to see him put an Arsenal shirt on, get on the field and do his thing. But you know I'm more reserved than that, guys. You guys know me long enough to know that I think about all the other intangibles and all the other outside factors. So Andrew says he was playing at Arsenal under 19, 13 years old. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And imagine skipping the under 21 completely, under 18s completely. You know, he played some games there last year. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. D saying always liked Madueke signing. Yeah. He said something about Madueke. Imagine if we didn't buy him and people talking about we didn't need a replacement for Saka. Why? He'll no doubt play on the right next week against Liverpool. No doubt. And then the left can be whatever it is. Maybe you play Martinelli. I know he ain't turned up, but he always turns up against Liverpool. What do you do with Eze? Do you put Eze in at the number 10? Sure. Don't rush Odegaard back unless you need to. I know he's your captain. And they're struggling there because their captain and vice captain is injured. So then it goes down to Declan Rice. So Declan Rice, for all of you lot wanting to see him with armband, you probably will next week. Andrew says, I agree. Do not rush him back. 2 players spring to mind: Wayne Rooney, Theo Walcott. One had a brilliant career, the other suffered the weight. Yeah. And that's what it is. And this guy, man, he's 15 years old. Guys, he's not 16 until Christmas. let that sink in. He's not 16 until Christmas. So, all right, listen, guys. So that's really me reviewing and talking about the Leeds game. I always try and keep these nightcaps to around half an hour. Last week I got to 30 minutes, today I got to 4 minutes. And so I'm going to leave it right there, guys. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts. Player as well. D says Saka's only 23, nearly has half the appearances. Yeah, I know. It's not insane. That's just insane. And I think if it means that he has a longer rest and layoff, then so be it. We've got the squad now, guys. We shouldn't be worried about everything. We're going to get Jesus back in November as well. So that's another attacker that you're bringing into the mix. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed Carnival today, Nate. Shout out to you, man. Listen, guys, thanks for joining me. Always good to talk to you guys about the game, review it in our nightcap. Let's keep this going. Let's continue the flavor, and I'll catch up with you in the next one. Peace out, guys. Nice one.